We are Gary and Brooke, and since January 2020, we've been sailing around the Bahamas and the Caribbean on our floating home, One Life. For the past few weeks, we've been in Panama exploring Gunayala, also known as the Sandblast Islands. Most days out here are absolute paradise. We've climbed wrecks, took our dinghy down the Rio and into the jungle. We've swam through giant bait pods, played with dolphins, and have been welcomed with open arms into the lives of the people who live here. So here we are, pulling our anchor at Isla Ratones, getting ready to set sail to another remote island, hoping to spend yet another blissful, carefree week in the Gunayala territory. But life is all about balance, and some days out here just aren't as glorious. The sail from Isla Ratones to Pugadup was only about 10 nautical miles, and we were escorted most of the way by our dolphin friends. There's so many of them coming. We don't fly all three of our sails together too often, but this afternoon, the wind and seas were absolutely perfect, so we decided to take full advantage of this beautiful afternoon. Yes, these are the conditions sailors dream of. The sky was clear, the sails were full, and since we lost our drone a few weeks ago, there was only one way to capture this awesome moment. I hopped in the dinghy with our GoPro, while Gary manned ship, and all went according to plan. Even the part where Gary had to pull me back on board, while One Life was moving along at 6 knots. Life was awesome. And then we dropped anchor.
Well, we were having a really nice day. We went to town, met some amazing, friendly Guna people, and they were super helpful, and we got some groceries. Then we had a beautiful sail, we had dolphins, we had perfect wind, and we came in to drop the anchor, and when we fired up the motor, we turned on our water maker, only we forgot to close, or to open the through hull for the water maker that was closed. So it flooded our galley.
Woohoo! So we'll see how much of our food's been ruined, but it flooded our fridge. So basically what happened is it filled this sink here full of water, and then it started overflowing. And then it overflowed into our fridge, and then down through this cabinet, and then started running down into this, which is where we keep our food.
Water everywhere, but it's okay, we'll get it dried out. And luckily, Brooke knows this can happen, so she puts all of our food in plastic bags that are down below, so everything's fine. Just a little bit of work, but it's all okay.
Rookie mistake. All right, so now that we've had a chance to pull our food out and look at it, it looks like luckily it's all in good shape. And like Gary mentioned, we put everything in these Ziploc bags, and anything that was in boxes, like this is stuffing. So I took it out of the stuffing box, cut out the directions, stuck that in here, but the box wasn't down below, so it didn't get soggy. So it really saved our ass. And the same way with like pasta that comes in a box, we have so much that fits in these containers, but for our storage down below, take it out of the box and put it in here. And luckily, the bags are wet, but the food inside is dry, so that's really cool. Same way with labels on cans, a lot of people take them off because of bugs, which we've had some issues with bugs like a year ago, but since then, no problems. But again, the labels didn't get wet, so that's a win. It would be a more nightmare if the labels were on this. Yeah, so even though it was a mess, we made it okay. Okay, we got everything cleaned up and put away, and we're treating ourselves to a frozen cocktail. So
What's in yours?
Frozen bananas, mango, and
Grenadian strong rum.
67% alcohol.
And what's in mine?
And Gary's is banana and chocolate and rum. That's what we have. Cheers. Well, it was kind of a shit night last night. There were lots of storms all around us. And even though we've been through a lot of storms at Anchor, we still don't sleep well when it's blowing and gusty out. So anyway, especially when we're in an anchorage like we are now with the reef all around us, because if we drag, we'll definitely end up on a reef. And anyway, so we're just taking it easy today. We were going to go for a snorkel, but it's pretty cloudy, and from all the rain last night, the water visibility isn't that great. So we're just gonna kind of do chores around the boat today. I think I'll edit some video, and Gary is servicing our dive compressor. So yeah, not very exciting today, but that's okay. We have days like this, and we need them because otherwise our boat projects and things would never get done.
Being able to scuba dive anywhere you want comes with a lot of extra work, like changing the oil in the compressor. But I haven't done this since we were in Statia, so not too bad really. Trying to hurry up and get this done before it rains on me again. Yeah, November is actually the rainiest month in San Blas. So we've had a little bit of an oil leak when running our dive compressor out of the engine valve cover. So pulled the cover off. This is the old gasket, pretty worn out. And I've got a kit of spare gaskets, so we happen to have one. And I'm gonna get it mounted back in. And then I'm also gonna measure the belt that drives the compressor from the engine and order a spare for this that hopefully our friends will bring in about a month, because I noticed a lot of belt dust, so I think the belt's starting to wear down, so it'll be good to have a spare for that.
How is it working right now in these conditions?
It's not that bad. It's a little bouncy and rolly, but you get used to it. Just got to be careful where you set stuff down. The maintenance is never ending on a cruising sailboat like One Life. Being able to dive in remote areas is a huge part of why we travel, so I do my best to give our compressor the attention that it needs.
Anyway, back to editing. I'll leave Gary there with the oil and all the spools sliding all over. It's raining. Just when we got all the hatches closed and the tools put away, the rain stopped, and we noticed something weird.
What?
Wow.
Is it a river outflow? Is it a tidal thing? What's going on?
It's like the green.
What?
It's like clearly separated between the green and the blue water. Gross.
Is this like the runoff from land?
Maybe.
From the rain this morning? Is it like what, the river outflows? Like, I don't know. It's crazy looking how different it is. It's like foamy. Look at that. That's weird. It's got to be from the rivers, right?
I think so, yeah. And later that night, more storms.
Woke up this morning and, well, kind of woke up this morning. We were pretty much up all night because it was lightning and heavy rains all night. And woke up this morning to go up and check on the dinghy. And if we didn't have an inflatable dinghy, it would have sank. It was filled to the very top with water. So luckily none of our stuff floated away. And I just went out and bailed it. But that's the most rain I've ever seen anywhere. It's crazy.
We have a leak right into our clothes closet. We thought we fixed this when we were in, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But we went to get our clothes out this morning and they're soaked. I'm gonna take the rest of the clothes out of our closet and we will deal with this when it stops raining.
So now that it has finally stopped raining, although it'll probably rain again in like an hour, I've got everything out to dry. All of our cockpit cushions removed so they can lay out in the sun for a little bit and dry. And I'm gonna dig into this propane locker and try to figure out where the water's coming into the boat from.
It is never a good feeling when you have water getting inside the boat. The vibe on One Life was slowly deteriorating. First having water in the galley, then tons of rain, and now this.
I think we finally figured out how water is getting down into our clothes locker. There is a little leak through the propane locker, but that's not the main problem. The main problem is the way the boat's designed. So these blocks slide into the deck here for our lines that go through the cockpit to our main winches. And they're not sealed at all. So when it rains, water can just get right in here under the deck, and then it works its way down to the cockpit locker.
So I'm just trying to get in there with my hand as much as I can and get all the rotten wood pulled out. But yeah, problems in paradise. It's not good. Can you imagine this has been going on for a long time? The wood is just like mush and ugh. Hopefully it's not a structural issue. Here's a look at all the mush wood we were able to pull out along with an old wasp nest. Wonder how long that thing's been in there. But I think we've decided we're going to shop vac as much as we can out of there and then get it sealed up, maybe tape over it for now before another rainstorm comes. The rain's moving in on us again. And then Gary is going to design some sort of cover to put over it. Ugh. And the best part, I'm sure it's the same way on the other side. We just haven't noticed it yet. And sure enough, the other side was the exact same way. While Gary was getting the other side shop vac'd and dried out, I went down below to start on a little project.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to hand stitch little covers for our block holes.
Covers for our block holes. I think that's the title of this episode. Covers for our block holes.
It's been a long day. But
yeah, so we don't really have any good way to cover those holes where those lines go through our cockpit combing. So we figured out a way, we think, to make some umbrella covers that we can snap in to cover them when we're not sailing. And hopefully that will keep the rain out of the inside of our boat. So Brooke's thoroughly enjoying hand sewing right now.
if you know me at all, you know that I know nothing about sewing. So doing my best, but just to do this side probably took me, 2 hours? All right, it is day 2 of trying to make these covers. So I've stuck my finger once, just a little blood, and I'm just trying to do the best I can. I'm slowly getting it done. It's a huge pain in the ass though.
And what's hanging all around your head?
And the boat's a mess. So we did a bunch of laundry yesterday because of the mold in our closet. and it's raining, or it was. It actually looks like the sun's coming out right now for the first time in like 3 days. So yeah, we have all these clothes out trying to dry, but paradise out here. Feeling frustrated and a few more needle pricks later, I finally finished the covers. Not ideal, but it is what we have to use for now. And we're hopeful tomorrow will be a better day. And the following day, nope, not any better. What just happened?
Just trying to change the toilet valve. Maybe I should have known better, with our week going the way it was, than to try to do some annual maintenance on the toilet. So this is the old check valve in our toilet that's been in there for about a year. And this is our poo.
Ew!
Yeah, gross, but this needs to be changed like once a year, and it's a disgusting job.
And what happened while you were changing it?
Oh, I back flushed. Let's just say I back flushed all of the toilet lines.
So between our block for our headsail sheets, flooding the galley, and now flooding the bathroom, I don't know, is that like 3rd time's a charm or something? Boat life. Glorious. We cleaned up the toilet water and hung every rag we owned out to dry. These are the days not shown on Instagram, but surely the coming days will be better. Cheers, everyone. Thanks for watching.